Hey guys, we're back again with another video, and I know I've not posted in a week and it actually feels like such a long time, although it's only been a week. But for somebody who does post twice a week, it's just felt like a really long time, and I feel like so much has happened in that week. So I got a lot that I want to share in this video. Some things might actually feel like, this is old news, but I still want to talk about it. And I definitely want to start off this video by talking about the fight that I spoke about in my previous video a week ago. And that was the fact that Ryan Garcia is now the WBC welterweight champion. That was such a dominant performance. Right from round one, right from that knockdown, that set the tone for the fight. That performance I was expecting to see against Rolly, but we didn't actually see it. But I'm so glad that he brought that for this fight where there was much more on the line, a world title, his first world title. And he was sharp, he was focused, he was quick. It was beautiful. It was brilliant to see. This is the type of, and this is the version of Ryan Garcia that I love to see. I think he's great in the ring. And I think Ryan Garcia is great for boxing. I love seeing him fight. So this was good. I was like, yes, brilliant. But the question is consistency. Are we going to be able to see this version of Ryan Garcia and even better consistently? And I'm hoping we do, simply for the fact that he is now world champion, WBC world champion, and he's now going to be defending his title. So it is quite important that he does bring this regularly. And there's been a lot of talk on who's next for Ryan Garcia. Now, Shakur Stevenson has shown interest, and, they both seem quite interested in making that fight happen. And absolutely, stylistically, this would be beautiful. We know Shakur Stevenson for having his elite defense, his composure, his timing. Brilliant, right? He often makes his opponents miss, okay? But on the contrary, with Ryan Garcia, he's known for his explosive timing. He's got that magical, crazy left hook. So the question becomes, can Shakur Stevenson neutralize Ryan Garcia's power, or does Ryan Garcia land something before the chess match takes over? Exciting fight. And I also saw the weekend just gone that Devin Haney is open to this fight with Ryan Garcia. You guys might be really bored of me talking about it because you know that that's a rematch that I really want to see. I think they should just make that fight next. They're both world champions. It'll be a unification fight. They're both coming off incredible wins. I just don't see why not. It's a big fight. Put bums on seats. They'll make money. It's good for boxing fans. I just don't see why not. Like, what are we waiting for? It'll be a sensational fight. But I'm glad because I hadn't seen so much talk from Devin Haney saying that he's open to making that fight. I hadn't seen it so much. Maybe from Bill Haney, but not from Devin. So now that they're both saying that they want to make this fight happen and saying it publicly, I hope it's not just all talks and that they genuinely do make that fight happen even this year. Because why not? The winner becomes a unified welterweight champion. Beautiful. A lot on the line. A lot at stake. There's bad blood there. Oh, you wouldn't have to sell this fight too much. But anyways, I don't want to go in as to why I want to see this fight because I feel like I've spoken so much about that fight already. And I know we've been talking about it non-stop at the fact that Conor Benn has now signed with Zuffa Boxing. I think it took many boxing fans by surprise. Wasn't expecting it. There's two ways of seeing this, right? Firstly, and I saw an interview of Conor Benn actually saying that it's about his legacy, and his legacy is his kids. And once boxing's over with and he retires, who is going to care for him? Who's going to care for his kids? And for him, he wants to leave something for his kids because that's his legacy. And obviously, when someone's making a statement like that, they're obviously talking from a financial standpoint. So, of course, as a boxer has a short time span of a career, you're going to want to make the best decisions. You're going to want to be able to be very strategic with the decisions that you make to be able to get the most out of it. Really, this is probably a business move that probably he saw that worked best financially for him. Now, on the other side, which I think many people were really surprised, is the fact of the loyalty, how loyal Matchroom and Eddie Hearn have been to him, especially in those hard times when it was really difficult, and that they've been there. They have backed him. Eddie Hearn has done nothing but speak so positively about Conor Benn through every single point so far in his career, where everybody turned their backs towards it, where people weren't too sure, where people weren't really too interested. Before those two mega big fights with Chris Eubank Jr., I think Eddie Hearn probably done his best for Conor Benn. As somebody, as an outsider, just looking in, this is what I think. I could be totally wrong, but this is what I think. He done his best that he could for Conor Benn and his career. And so Of course, in boxing, this is the second way, is in boxing, loyalty matters. It's also the way that you go about things, you know, like Eddie Hearn has also said that he did try to reach out to Conor Benn to ask to have a chat, you know, about this decision, and he declined. Things are moving forward. A fight has now been announced for Conor Benn with Regis Prograis, and that's for the undercard was co-main event for the fight that's happening with Tyson Fury and Makhmudov, which is going to be broadcasted on Netflix. So things are moving quick already. Personally, I think this is a good matchup for Conor Benn, and that's because he's going to be going into the ring, and we know, right, before I get into that, we know that Conor Benn wants those big fights. He's said it many times, he wants those big fights, he wants a world title, he wants all of that. But going into the ring with a former two-time world champion, I think that builds a bit of legitimacy in him actually wanting to go for those big fights, those title fights, if he's able to get through to Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis could be sharp, you know, and if he's sharp, he could be dangerous. But at 37, it makes you question, are we going to get that from Regis Prograis? For Regis Prograis, this is a nice, probably a really good payday for him. He wins this fight, he wins against one of the current most talked about British boxers right now. So it throws him back into the mix, although, you know, he is coming off a win against the Payda, and he's had 2 losses prior to that against Jack Catterall and Devin Haney. I do think this is a good fight for both men because they both have a point to prove. So this should be good. I'm excited to see how it will play out. I'm actually really am excited to see it. Then we had Usyk's next fight announced against Rico Verhoeven. Now, Rico Verhoeven was known as the Prince of Kickboxing, but now he is known as the King of Kickboxing, and he's regarded as one of the best, right? According to ESPN, he has held his Glory Heavyweight title for 4,220 days. That is crazy. And it's also been reported that he has worked closely with the British heavyweight boxer Tyson Fury, and he actually credits him for making his jab highly effective. I just think this fight is commercial. It's a commercial fight. Let's think about it. Usyk, we know Usyk for who he is and what he's done, and he's regarded as one of the best. I say it's commercial because you've got 2 of the best in combat sport in the heavyweight division going head to head in the ring. Let's be honest, Usyk could pretty much fight anyone in the heavyweight division, but he's chosen to fight a kickboxer who's only had 1 professional boxing fight. And do you know what? I kind of say, like, I don't blame Usyk, because what else is there for him to do? He might as well just make as much money at this point. Like, he's got nothing else to prove. And yes, there are exciting fights that can be made with him in the heavyweight division. You've got Fabio Wardley, you've got Caballero. But this is the fight that he's chosen to go for. They're both going to make bank. It will put bums on seats. I know some boxing fans, just looking at some of the comments, some boxing fans are questioning, like, why is Usyk going for this fight? We would have rather this fight, myself included. I would have loved to have seen Usyk and Fabio Wardley get into the ring head to head together. Watch the press conference for Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois, and Fabio Wardley did say that they tried to make that fight with Usyk happen, but they believed that that fight with him, with Fabio Wardley, wasn't as commercial. It looked as if, just going off by what he said, it looked as if Usyk wanted a big commercial fight. And so, hey, we're gonna see how it plays out. You guys let me know your thoughts on it. Exciting time in boxing right now. There's so much going on, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you guys again on Friday. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like and comment, and I'm gonna speak to you guys in my next video. Bye for now.